why makes now the right time to come back for a project to reconvene?
I think that the climate is right for it. Everybody's real active, real out there, and I feel like there's not a lot of real like hardcore, hip hop hitting right now. So it's good to step into that spot and give them kind of like, I feel like this project really connects with the two previous ones. Like it's a continuation, and it's this version of us just going hard in this climate. So I think it's gonna really work.
Obviously, throughout your careers with Cypress Hill, Soul Art, Cycle Rum, et cetera, what part of your personality and different parts of your character do you think you get to explore with serial killers that you haven't done that much elsewhere?
This is different altogether because, with Cypress, people look at me more as a songwriter there and not like as an MC. It tends to happen in groups. But in this sort of group dynamic, it's you're looked at more of as an MC, I think, because we're all trying to step up and make each other better by spitting the best bars possible. So for me, it's more about like the MC dynamic, chopping a motherfucker's head straight off. And, I feel like with the chemistry we have and the dynamics between our three different vocal tones and how we're spitting, and it's all different. We get inspired by each other, but our styles are in contrast very different. And so for me, I get to highlight that part of my skill set as a MC as opposed to just a songwriter. I mean, we write songs as well, but everybody in this group flexes. so you got to fucking flex as well as songwrite. So, that's what it brings out in me.
And then how do you see though the different dynamic, using Sen as an example, like how do you feel like you feed off, Xzibit versus Sen Dog or somebody else if you're just doing a normal collaboration?
Well, with Sen Dog, we've been doing it, 27 years, so it's pretty much innate. This is just something that happens because we've been on stage together for so long. But now and then, you do stuff where there's instant chemistry in other places. And when we started working together, back when I had the studio in Chatsworth, there was this sort of thing we had when we got on this one song, and then when we actually got to perform it together, the energy that we had on stage together and the way we backed each other up, it felt like something we had been doing for years already, even though that had been maybe the first couple of shows we had done together. And it felt good. So right then and there, when you have something that hits you from a totally different, side, and it feels like it works, as an artist, you want to go deeper into that. So, we went from doing that record, touring off of that record, and then doing another one and doing some shows and just continuing to build our chemistry. So, it was something we always look forward to. It's just that, our schedules, being what they are, sort of, they take you away. Hell, my schedule tore me away from Cypress Hill for a time, so it sort of happens. But this is like fun when we get together. We make sure we have fun when we do it. We want to flex, but we want to have fun while we're flexing,
Okay. And then X, for you, want to ask about me in particular, there's very timely references to like Kavanaugh and stuff. So how do you incorporate that, the timeliness, the politicalness into the song?
Man, I'm a professional asshole. You know what I'm saying? I have no problems putting it out there, man. And, we dealing with times. I try not to be into religion or politics. But, we living through some wild shit right now. And so to make a reference to, the irony of a Supreme Court judge, having to talk about, he likes beer. I think that's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sign of the times. And, like I said, I just try to keep a little tongue-in-cheek about situations like that.
Okay. And then for you, X, what about exploring the different parts of your personality of this project? Because your music obviously typically is very aggressive and very confrontational.
Right. I mean, I like the fact that we put these projects out around Halloween. I like the fact that it is such a departure from what's really happening in hip hop right now. I love the fact that we able to say these belligerent, violent, crazy fucking things, and it's set in a theme, in a setting where it's appropriate to do so. I'm not gonna dress up like fucking It for Halloween, all right? I'm not gonna fucking put any kind of costume on, but I can. This is my version of what that is, you know what I'm saying? Being able to put my art into and dress it as darker than it actually is, you know, on the regular basis. So that's my version, and that's why I think it works, you know, for everybody. You'll be real touched on it. The diversity of the group is dope. We all come from different angles, but I mean the way it works. And then on tour, when we hit the stage, man, that shit is fun as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, we go through serial killer songs, then we throw some Cypress in there, and a couple Xzibit songs, then some Demrick songs, and I mean, it's body punches and uppercuts and upper body violence all the way through the show. It's crazy.
And then for D, what's the strangulation of my favorite form of meditation?
Yeah, what is that line?
What are you doing there, buddy?
That does sound, when you single it out and say it like that, it sounds. It sounds but, bro, I just think that I actually just think that it's just a metaphor for. It's hard to take it back on track.
Are you choking or are you being choked?
Oh man. It's just a metaphor, really, for just snapping on these tracks, man. You know, there's no easy exit out of this one. You know, you just.
Oh shit.
But honestly, really, you know, I try to the same with them. Like, you know, I really try to play with the metaphors when I'm rapping, and when I'm doing this, I get a chance to, you know, just be a little more lyrical and outlandish and crazy with it, and just really wanting to show my MC ability, especially with two legendary you know, rappers like Xzibit and Be Real. You know, to be able to get on tracks with them, it's like I wanna get creative and create moments in there where it's lyrically I'm flipping crazy, or I'm saying something crazy to catch somebody's attention, you know, and this is the platform to do it on, you know.
Okay. And then Be Real for you, especially being considered a lyricist, which is something I've always considered you as.
Well, thank you.
But I did want to, like, the, you know, your flow, I think is something that, you know, you don't get as much recognition for, but on, like, Things Fall Apart, for instance, just how you were, like, riding the beat on that one in particular. Can you explain why do you think you don't get more recognition for it, and how you're able to execute?
Again, because the group setting, you know, when you're, you know, sometimes when you're in a group from the 90s, in this day and age, it's a whole different thing. But, you know, they sort of tend to lump you in with the whole group. So, you know, we were known for the songs. People, you know, didn't pay attention to the flows. They paid attention to the songs, even though obviously the flow is a part of the song. And people borrowed some of my flows, no doubt about it. That is for sure. But, you know, I look at it like this. I've always known what I was capable of in terms of writing pockets. Muggs and I, when we worked together, that was, you know, in the early days, and to now, we always try to be in a different pocket of the song in terms of flow and you know, how those phrases connect. And that's just something that I've carried with me through every project, whether it was my solo shit, just finding a connection in the beat where I hear a certain pocket that I feel I can, you know, master that and do something, you know, cool to it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, again, when you have guys like Demrick, who is a fucking killer, and Xzibit, you know, to keep up with right there. I mean, you definitely step up your game, and I feel like in some of the beats that we've gone on. You know, they were tailor made for some of the shit that I was writing in those pockets too, especially with Things Fall Apart. I like challenging myself to shit like that, you know, and finding those different places, and you know, it's just part of the repertoire, man. Find a pocket in a different place that no one else is swinging it.
Okay, and then X, I wanted you to talk about, because obviously you guys all three being lyricists and with the different references, referencing How I Could Just Kill a Man and taking it to the next level on that song with the chorus in particular. So how and why did you think that How I Could Just Kill a Man, but I'm going to show you how to get away with it? Why was that something you thought was interesting or that you wanted to add?
I actually, it was just like a continuation of a conversation. It was like a thought that just popped out. It was no real, you know, strategy behind it. It was just like it actually what really made it that work was I didn't come up with the Killer Man part till the first part was there. The first part was, oh, you think you got the upper hand? Oh, my mama got another plan. And then I was like, shit, there it is, right there. I'm gonna show you how to kill a man, but I'm gonna show you how to get away with it. You know, so it was really just like the sound that really brought it out.
And then for any of you guys, what do you think is the meaning and the premise of the Day of the Dead title? Like, what does that mean to you guys?
I mean, it was just better than calling it the Halloween album. I mean, fuck, man. I mean, it was the serial killer, spooky Halloween. Yeah.
Fright Night.
Yeah.
Serial killer.
Nah.
And then obviously the project is relatively short, but you do have a few guest appearances. So having James Savage on there, what do you think he brought to the project on Fruit Punch?
He was flipping styles there, man.
Yeah, he was killing it.
Yeah, I mean, he went savage on that, you know, and I appreciate when someone comes on and does style flips like that, man. I mean, it's motivating, you know, because in this day and age, you know, that's what the youngsters are listening to, and obviously we ain't trying to follow no trends, but it gives us like a template to work with where we can find our ground on top of that, and he fucking killed it, man. I gotta say, it's a dope feature, I think, you know, in my opinion.
I feel the same way. You know, Brevi's on that record too, so she really set the tone. You know, that actually was like a verse part that ended up turning into that chorus, and it's just infectious. And that track has a good beat, a dope vibe, and it gave the opportunity to flip it in that kind of style, the way that production is. And James Savage killed it.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.